Mia, hi there. I hope you're doing well. I finally got some time to get around to your reading. Thank you so much for your support. I'm just starting out here with the first few cards that I drew for you. I shuffled them quite a lot and sort of just focused in on your energy. I think a lot of the collective energy for the Scorpio full moon is coming through in a lot of readings, but especially in yours being a Scorpio. So let me set my phone down here and get started. Hopefully you can see me. I have no idea what it looks like because the phone is facing the other way. So, yes. Anyways, I got some pretty intense cards for you. I'm just going to start with these first 6 here. And then once I get through explaining those to you, I will draw some more. And so, yeah. Basically, this full moon, if you don't already know, I'm sure you're pretty well versed in moon stuff when you want to be. Basically, this is all kind of about like new beginnings and a lot of kind of growing pains. And I think it's just kind of been a theme overall for everyone, going through a lot of changes and inevitable changes that aren't always fun, but are definitely necessary for moving forward and growing. I'm going to move this a little bit. I feel like it's not on me all the way. Forgive me. Okay, so I have drawn these cards for you, obviously, and I've taken some notes just to try and get a better understanding and kind of stay on track because my brain is all over the place. So we start here with the Justice card. And what I see here is kind of a balancing act and a little bit of critical and impartial decision making. So it could be that you've had to make some decisions recently where there wasn't much room for emotion and it was more based around logic. So I know that you are, as a Scorpio, probably a very empathetic person normally, but what this card tells me is that there have been some decisions that you've had to make lately, or there will be some decisions coming up that you'll have to make where it will seem like you're being a bit cold, and it might feel like you're being a bit cold, but the truth is that you're just being fair, and you're just sort of trying to be balanced. So you're making these decisions not based on your heart, but more on your head and what is right and what you know needs to be done at this time. So this is a really strong card to start the reading out with. And I think, justice is all about that balancing act and trying to find that fairness and kind of, like I said, trying to make decisions more based around our logic, which is hard as emotional beings. But that's just sort of what this card tells me. Next, I got the Ten of Rods, which isn't my favorite card. It's not a lot of fun. I hope that you're able to kind of see the artwork. The deck that you chose is actually one of my favorite decks. I love the artwork in it, and I love all the symbolism. But yeah, the Ten of Rods is sort of, as you can see, carrying a bundle of stress or obligation or fear or resentment. And it almost feels like not only are you carrying too much? This feels like it's really heavy. It feels like you're carrying a lot of burdens for a lot of people right now. And it also feels like maybe you aren't carrying them properly. So I can't say exactly what your situation is or what you're going through right now, but I know everyone is having an extra tough time right now. So this card sort of just feels as if maybe you feel like you're letting someone down, or there have been some things you've had to do lately that maybe just feel like you're carrying burdens for a lot of people. Maybe that's your family, or it feels almost like some younger people in your life, your children maybe. You could be carrying burdens for them, and I know as a parent, I'm not a parent, so I actually don't know. I can't pretend like I know what that's like, but I can imagine that that's really hard, and it feels like not only dealing with your own stress and your own sort of hardship in this time, it also feels like you're dealing with a lot of other people's stress and hardship in this time. And so I guess the cards aren't telling me this, but I feel like I want to remind you to go easy on yourself and to just remember that you're doing the best you can. And I think that sometimes that's all we can do. And so I hope that whatever's going on right now for you personally, I hope that you take some time to just think about how far you've come and think about how good you really are doing, considering. So I guess I just don't want you to beat yourself up or to feel as if, you have to be responsible for everyone's emotions and for everyone's troubles at this time. Sometimes it's best to just focus on you and just try and think about what you're going through instead of this bigger picture of like, what is everyone going through and how can I help everyone? I think that can get to be a bit much sometimes. So that's just sort of what I'm seeing from that. Next I have the Death card, which people think is some big scary card, but the reality of this card is that it's just about a big change, and it's about a big change that just recently happened for you, or a big change that is going to be happening that isn't really able to be resisted. So it's something that is going to happen inevitably. It's something that's going to happen whether we like it or not. And so I think this card is just a reminder to lean into changes instead of resisting them, because they're bound to happen. It's sort of a card that symbolizes just being stripped to the bone and starting over. And so it's sort of a card that leaves you wide open. Very vulnerable card in a sense of, big changes that you are going to be making and big changes that the universe has started making for you. Sometimes without your consent and sometimes without your knowledge even. It's just sort of happening so fast is what I feel with these first three cards. And I think especially with this full moon energy that's going on right now in just 2 days, the huge theme of it is rebirth and kind of growing, and moving forward in ways that we haven't been able to and that we've maybe felt blocked. So I guess I just want you to try and lean into that, like I said, instead of resisting it, because these changes are coming and these changes have been happening. And I don't see them slowing down for us to like take a breather anytime soon. It's kind of like very intense. And you got a lot of major arcana cards, right, in these first few that I drew for you. So that's really, really powerful. It tells me that you have really gone through a lot of changes lately. And it's been hard, but also that it has helped you realize a lot of things about yourself. And I hope that those are good things because, I don't know you very well, but I do feel like you're a really awesome person. And I'm not just saying that. So I hope that you can recognize that in yourself too. And that through everything that's happening, it definitely feels like you are getting a better understanding about your place in the world and sort of the directions that you want to move in. So something I suggest a lot, I'm starting to sound like a broken record when I talk about setting intentions, but I think putting things in writing and being clear not only with ourselves, but with the universe about what it is we really want and what it is we want to move towards and the goals we have. And I think, in a physical sense of moving towards those things and getting things done in real time, and tangible results, I think a lot of that just starts with writing things down and becoming clear about what your intentions are. I think we have the tendency to kind of be all up in the air and sort of unsure about what it is we're doing. But I think with moving forward and finding those tangible results, I think that, just setting clear intentions, that is a really big key in that. So I've rambled on long enough about that. Next I have the Sun card, which I really like this card because it looks like a light at the end of the tunnel. And just like sunshine it's sort of joy. It's like pure joy and happiness and affection and feeling whole and feeling a sense of warmth. So I think this card is a really good indicator that all the hardship that you've been through and that you're still going through, because it feels ongoing. It feels like you have a sense of happiness in you and a sense of, not taking for granted all the good things that are still going on around you despite the difficulties or despite the sadness. It feels like you have a real sense of gratitude and a real sense of of happiness, even so, even when you're feeling down or you're feeling like things are really difficult and have been really difficult. This card is just a good reminder that overall, I think that you're in good spirits. And I think that that's really important, to start seeing more positive results and to start moving, in more positive directions and towards safer waters and towards a more relaxing energy instead of just stress all the time. Which I know it's hard, but yeah, I love this card, and I love to see this for you because I want you to do well, and I want you to be happy. And this card tells me that there is a lot of that going on in the background. Even when there's struggling and suffering kind of at the forefront of your reading, which I was really bummed to see, but I just have to read the cards how they come out. I don't think it's a bad reading. I'm not saying that you've been doing bad or that you are bad by any means, because I don't believe that. It just feels like the universe is putting you through a lot of tests and has been and is kind of continuing to. But it looks like there's some light. There's a little bit of solace and a little bit of solitude that's on its way. And I love this card. The artwork is so nice, and the sentiment behind it is just really good. And I hope that you can channel more of this kind of warmth, moving forward. Let's see. Next, I got the Ace of Pentacles. So this is a very grounded energy, and this is a very much like standing on your own 2 feet kind of card. So not just in a like a monetary sense. It's not just about money. It's very much about being self-sufficient and being self-reliant on an emotional level, but also independent in a sense of finances. It looks like you know how to care for yourself, and you have been taking care of yourself, and you've taken care of others. And I think this card really is just a reminder, though, that at the end of the day, we love the ones we love. We love our loved ones and we care about them. But this is really just a card to focus on yourself. And it feels like you've been doing that. You do put yourself really high on your list of important things. But, just with the cards before this and with the overall message, it sort of feels like you spend a lot of time caring for others, which I think is great and wonderful. But I really just getting these messages and sort of seeing these things, I just really want you to take some time for yourself and to really do some things that you love and just think about your place in this world aside from everything else and everyone else. Just really kind of take some time to do some big kind of self-care things and to really relax and rest and try not to get too overwhelmed with all of the energy and all of the craziness going on around you. The last card in this first 6 that I got for you is the 6 of Rods. So this is a card of honor, and it's a card of hard work and sacrifice. And so to me, this is sort of a noble and modest and capable person who has overcome a lot of things. Like I've been seeing that come up a lot. But not only that, but you're very accomplished in this sense of the things that you've done and the positive directions that you've been moving in. It feels like you shouldn't hide those things, I know that it can be really hard to sort of promote ourselves and put ourselves out there, but I feel like this card tells me you've done a really, really good job of just being the person you are, staying true to the person you are, and I think that shows, publicly, with the work you do and with the person you are. I think that people can see that and recognize those good qualities about you, and that, your accomplishments and your hard work, they don't go unnoticed by other people. And I think I can say personally that I always love hearing, about the things that you're up to and the things that you're doing, because I think it's important, and I think your heart is always in it for the right reason, which this card is just kind of a big reminder of that. So yeah, this tells me a lot about, your accomplishments, and not only the things you have already accomplished, but the things that you have coming in the future that you'll be accomplishing. So I think it's good to keep working towards those things. And the bottom portion of this reading was really, really positive overall. The top was a little scary there, but that sort of just represents all the shit that you've been through. And I don't feel like that's been easy. There was a very kind of heavy energy when this started. But these last cards I got, the last three with the Sun and the Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Rods, I'm looking over here a lot because I like to take a lot of notes. So when I'm doing this reading, I can kind of not be a total mess about it. So yeah, basically it felt really positive towards the end there. Like it really moved towards a more positive note. So I'll just shuffle a little bit more here and see if there is another message or any sort of overall advice that I can get for you here. Okay, so I got some Pentacle cards, followed by Judgment. I think I got confused at the beginning of your reading because I thought this was the Judgment card, but it was actually the Justice card. But I don't think I got confused in the message I gave you, but I may have called it the Judgment card. But it was actually the Justice card, and I have Justice written right here, so I think I gave you the right message with that. But with this Judgment card, gosh, so I got the Ten of Swords, which definitely shows me that sense of, sort of defeat, and that sort of, you were in this place where you were like, holy shit, I don't know if I can get through this. I don't know if I can really carry on, with the way things are going. And I don't know, this card is just a really big card of defeat. And so I feel like you went through a time, or you might be currently working through a time where you were sort of like, damn it, I feel a little hopeless, I feel a little helpless. But then I have the Judgment, which is sort of like, to me, symbolizing this decision where it's like, you decided that you're not going to let this be the end of you. You've decided that you're not going to let this take over you completely. And with Judgment, it's sort of just like, Judgment Day, what it really comes down to is the fact that you're a really good person at the core, and that all this hardship is trying to teach you something. And I know it feels really hard to see that and understand that. But I also got the Two of Pentacles here, which feels like movement forward, especially being paired with the Ace of Pentacles, because you have the Ace and then you have the Two after that. So it definitely just tells me that maybe there's a business thing that you're working on right now. I'm not for sure, but it just feels like there's going to be some reward coming your way, and it might be with money. There might be kind of a big money thing coming your way, or finally some things are just paying off that you've been working on and that you've been working towards. So yeah, that's kind of what I got for you. I hope that was a little helpful and that you could kind of take something from that. I'm bored out of my mind almost constantly these days, so if you ever want to talk more about this reading, if you want me to draw some more cards for you, or if you have any questions at all, I am here for it. So yeah, I hope this finds you well, and I hope you have an amazing Scorpio full moon. It's going to be a really good one for you since it's in your sign. Okay, thank you.